Hello and welcome to AM Guitar. Today I am going to be looking at the TSB Imperial Drive. Now this is another handmade pedal from the Sound Boutique. Depending on which way around you've watched these, I also have a review of his Beefeater Fuzz. And this was sent to me at the same time, so thank you TSB. And it is his kind of work on an overdrive. I don't know what's based on. I'm going to assume it's kind of got it feels, and you'll see it in the thing, it feels blues breakery with a little bit more control over it. Because it's not got a kind of a mid-hump like well, it can have, but it doesn't sort of, by default have a mid-hump like a tube screamer. But anyway, we'll go into all of that. So what you have here is you have a volume, a gain, a tone, and an eminence control, which I think is presence control. All handmade in the UK. Another pedal from him that just looks beautiful. And again, I'm just going to take you through the tones and let you decide what you think of it. If you want to support the channel and you like the videos I'm doing, please do remember to subscribe. It really helps boost the channel in the search results, which helps me keep the channel moving. Anyway, let's hear my clean tone. I am using my Ampster from Carl Martin, and I've got a little bit of reverb going through it with my Mosky reverb. This is what it sounds like clean. And this is what it sounds like with everything at 12. So, sounds overdrivey. Very kind of, like, we'd say transparent, because at this point it's not really affecting too much of the tone itself. So, rolling the volume off on the guitar, we can hear it cleans up. It's always a good sign. If I go into position 4 on the guitar, yeah, that strat kind of thing going on. So let's play around with the gain first. So I'm going to take the gain all the way out and pump the volume up a little bit. So essentially you get a volume boost with some tone control. Let's start rolling some gain in. And again, lots of gain on tap, but not so much that it overwhelms the signal. And it rewards dynamics as well. So, plenty of gain there for good sort of just nice rocking sound without going into saturation, which is not what an overdrive is really there for. What we're going to do now is we're going to play around with these tone controls. So I'm going to leave the eminence control at the center. I'm going to play with just the tone control. So I'm going to roll it all the way back to bass. So tone controls are always a bit hit and miss. I like this one because Although obviously when you're right down in the bass end of it, you've got, it does go a bit sort of muddy, which is what happens with tones. Once you're all the way at the top, it doesn't become so high end it hurts. We go back to neutral on that again. I'm going to play with the eminence controls. I'm going to roll it all the way off. Ooh, so that really is up in that high end. So let's see how these interact together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn tone all the way down. I'm going to start bringing in the eminence and seeing how the presence affects it. So you can see they definitely affect different ends of the spectrum, different parts of the spectrum. Let's bring that up to halfway. And in fact, let's bring that all the way up to the tone. Oh, no, can't play that, that's too high. So they work really well together. They affect different parts of that high end of the spectrum, of the top end, from mids to the top. So obviously I think the tone is much more in the mids and high mids, and then the eminence controls up in that top area. So you can use the eminence control to bring a bit of extra life into the overall tone. So what you can do with this in that case is if we turn the gain all the way down and we start playing around these tone controls, and I'll just make sure there's a bit more gain coming through on the ampster, we can use it as just like a boost. So I kind of like it. Volume up, gain in the middle, everything else at about 1 o'clock. All in all, it's a superb overdrive. It is natural, it can be warm, it can be shrill, it can do everything in between. It can do the tube screamer thing, it can do the low gain kind of blues breaker thing. If I take the gain right down, obviously playing a bit higher gain. If I take the gain right down, yeah, you get that edge of breakup kind of blues breaker feel to it, and then pushing it all the way up you get slightly more saturation. Get all your kind of higher gain blues out, push an out, whatever you want to do. Brilliant in the fact that it's so flexible and never loses that clarity that you get from proper tube type drive. Another great pedal from TSB. So let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know what you kind of think it sounds a bit like. It's always interesting when you try and understand what a pedal is to compare it to something, I find, because there are things we know the sound of. So I know the sound of an ODR1, and this feels a bit like it because it, in its natural sort of neutral position, it doesn't mess with the tone. It also, in the same way, has that blues breaker feel where it doesn't affect the tone too much, but gives you that breakup. But then you can make it feel tube screamery. So again, as I said, really flexible. Another beautiful kind of looking pedal from TSB. I'd love to know what you think. So get in the comments, let me know what you think. like, subscribe, and I will see you again very soon. Cheers.